Hello everybody, this is James DeBow on Discovering Season 5, dedicated to original people, and we got a guest who's been on Season 1 and she's finally back on Season 5. She's actually doing a solo today. She's a musician. She's dealing with the world reimagined, a lot of things. Janiece Myers, how you doing? Great to have you back on.
I'm good, thank you, James. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a while since you've been back on, and I thought, get you on by yourself, because you got a long history as a musician. You're also involved with something called the World Reimagined. Well, what is the World Reimagined? It sounds like a great idea. If you want to explain a bit about that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic project. It's a national project that's running right across the country within 8 different cities. So it's going to be in the Liverpool City region, Leeds, Birmingham, Swansea, Bristol, London and Leicester. Yeah, and the objective is to create a globe trail.
A globe trail, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got lots of different artists from all over, lots from the Caribbean, some from the UK. We've got Mr. Ras Akiem, who's designing a globe.
Excellent.
So he's currently here doing his research, and we've got lots of different artists travelling in, so they're going to be researching, they're selecting their different areas that they want to look into.
Yeah.
In order to create their globes. There's 9 different themes for Journey of Discovery.
Okay.
You can find out more about the Journey of Discovery on the website, which is theworldreimagined.org. And then when these globes are created, they're going to be pretty large globes. They're going to be placed in different areas around the country, and there's going to be a globe trail, so you can kind of follow it, almost like the way that the lamb bananas were back in 2008.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There'll be a similar type thing, and there'll be events going on around it.
Okay.
My role within the World Reimagined is community coordinator, so if there's any community organisations that want to get involved in the World Reimagined, there's some grants available called the Inspire grants. So the grant application closes on the 31st of May, which is pretty soon. I'm not sure when this episode goes out.
Got to be quick on it then.
Yeah, but the programme itself is going to be running from the 13th of August to the 31st of October. So if anybody wants to get involved after that date and, work in partnership, if they've got any events on during that time that correlate with the World Reimagined,
Good.
The World Reimagined are happy to partner and have it as part of their programme of events as well. So, yeah, it should be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I like the sound of the way, it's not just contained to only England, the Caribbean and other places. I think that's brilliant. I love it when different peoples can come together from different parts of the world. Adds more flavour into whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
We need that. How long have you been involved with the World Reimagined?
So I only got involved about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I heard that there was a position going for the community coordinator.
Oh,
the
great.
project's been in preparation for the past year. And the gentleman that was in the role before me, he had so many other commitments, and I got wind of that, so I contacted him and just said, I feel like this would be a really good role for me. I feel like
Excellent.
I'd be ideal for it. And
Definitely. Well, I think you fit that role perfect. You've been involved with the community for a long time. Also TCR. Definitely got to mention TCR. I've been a guest one time on there speaking about Indigenous travels, and you've had many guests on there, haven't you? What was the beginning of TCR? Where did that come from? TCR.
So
I knew the TCR from way back, but where did it reinvent? I meant.
Yeah, well, it was literally from that. So back in the day, it was started by Rico T and James Classen and many other DJs from the city back in 1987. And my dad was involved in it.
Yeah.
Mr. Joe Myers, he was involved in the production side of things, more to do with the equipment and things, and in bringing in more of the community engagement, so looking at things like politics and history and culture, and then it transitioned through lots of different hands. So my dad's always been like poking me, saying, come on, set up TCR, because he knows that I'm involved in the community and involved in music.
Yeah.
And it was during the lockdown, because obviously everything was online. It was almost like an epiphany. I woke up in the middle of the night one night and I was like, TCR, and I jumped on the computer, I researched how to set up a radio station, and then I was literally just working for days on end to get the radio station set back up. So at first it was very difficult because everything was remote, so I contacted a couple of different community organisations, the Unity Youth Centre, an organisation called Severa UK. We we did a partnership with Celebrate L8, which is an organisation that's based in the Cumber, which connects with different organisations in Toxteth, different community groups. So the Somali community, the African Caribbean community, the Romanian community, the Arabic community, and just celebrates their cultures and all the different variations of communities that make up Toxteth.
Interesting.
So we did a project with them. We had 2 volunteers, Gaia, who's a DJ. She's from Brixton, but she lives in Liverpool, and she's very involved in community work, and she's an advocate for our community. She's a fantastic girl. And a young lad called Connor, who's a DJ.
Yeah.
And they were working at the time. I was based in London during the lockdown, but I was doing everything remotely. At the Unity Youth Centre, we worked with some of the kids there. We found that they were really hard to engage initially when the lockdown happened. So there was a great youth worker there, a lady called Michelle, and she reached out to the kids with questionnaires and said to them, what is it that you want to actually do? And it was mainly the young women that contacted us back and said, we want to just speak about the issues that are affecting us. So we got them all together on a Zoom chat, and they spoke about the things that were really mattering to them at the time. So obviously there was a lot of issues going on with Black Lives Matter. So we spoke about racism, we spoke about sexism. They had a really powerful one about sexism, which actually made me cry. It was very emotional, because you don't realise these young people, especially in that transitional age of being a teenager, they're going through it and they're looking at the world. One of the young girls was saying, she loves football, and she transitioned from infants to junior school to secondary school, and she's like, the boys won't let me play, and all these things. So it was very emotive. They touched on mica as well, so they were looking at mining and in different countries for materials to create makeup. So it's very interesting. But one thing that we discovered is that it was very hard to engage the young males. So that's one of my personal objectives going forward, particularly with the World Reimagined, hoping to focus more around music, because I know a lot of our young males are into music, a lot of the kids are into drill, into trap. So I really want to tap into those spheres of music and teach the young people about the importance of music, how the vibration will affect, the psyche, the body,
we're going,
the health.
See, when we start talking about the vibration, the psyche, and this is where, this is the same with when I was talking to Razabar, it's if they can get into your psyche because when your psyche is affected, like, for example, Liverpool's like a funny type of place, you see, as black people.
Yeah.
You lived in London for a bit. Now, I find most people that move to another city, whether they come back or not, you come back with a different outlook.
Yeah.
Now, for me, based on this show alone, discovering, if you look at some of the guests, they're from different places in the world. Some are from Liverpool, some are from out of town, some are from like Barbados, Congo. I've had people on from Nigeria, Mali, Bermuda, Trinidad. I've had people from a lot of different places. And for me, that is the true Pan-Africanism. And I believe Liverpool, in order for Liverpool to get better, we got to look at the past. It was the people from the Caribbean and Africa that really made Black Liverpool. So what we need now is, because obviously a lot of people have integrated, so then they lose the culture to a degree. To a degree, you do. Like, I mean, if you 100% something, then it's intact, isn't it? But it's not always necessarily like that. That's why I believe we need a repopulation of Africans, Caribbeans coming into Liverpool. Obviously all over England, but Liverpool, we need you. We need you because, and this is why I have people on this show. Also, Chase has been on the show, an American person. Because for me, Liverpool is, because I brought up solidly, you know me, like how I've been brought up, solidly black and African. Strong Pan-African spirituality, everything there. So sometimes when I'm looking for other people to connect with, I'm a lost soldier. And this is for real. So when I see people coming over from wherever you are in the world and you have this connection, I'm with you 100%. I don't care you're born Liverpool, this place. You water down to me, it's hard for me to connect. And that's just the way I am. I have a different kind of spirit. Same with yourself. You have to go to London to find, it's like, it's not like going to Africa and you find yourself, but just going to London, there's opportunities here for us. We have businesses here.
Yeah.
Great musicians here we have, like here now. Musician wise,
Yeah.
you know, you've done music from a child. Sometimes you get people who later on in their life decide to be a musician, and it's like, for example, someone being a boxer. They start boxing from 5, and then you get someone who start boxing from 25. I mean, the person who's done it younger is pure experience and knows everything about it inside out. Sometimes people who come later, it's just, oh, maybe another person done it, and then they're going to copy what they're doing. You know, so I always knew you from a true musician from the beginning. You didn't do it. You wasn't trying to be a musician to even be rich, or that, you know, you just done it because you want to.
Yeah, it's just a natural
Your passion.
thing that occurs. It's
And I've
organic.
always noticed that with you anyway. And you were, well, how old were you? Like 9, 10, I think you said last time when you first started singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you moved to London, how long was you in London for anyway?
So when I actually moved to London when I was 20, and it was very eye-opening when I moved down there. I think connecting more with a sense of black culture.
Yeah.
And going down there, I've always identified with black culture as a black person.
Yeah.
But when I was there, they're like, "You're not black," and I was like, "I am," and they're like, "No, you're not black." And then it was kind of that realization that, okay, you know, there's a strong black community in London, whereas in Liverpool, you know, where a lot of us are mixed, a lot of us predominantly come from white women and black African Caribbean men.
Yeah.
So, you know, people are generally raised more by their mothers. So it's that kind of thing of where, you know, we might watch TV or whatever and we identify with black culture, but actually we were raised by white people.
Yeah.
So we've got like a different sense of identity, a different sense of self. You know, I feel grateful for the fact that, you know, all our family is more or less mixed, apart from our grandmothers and our grandfathers, or aunties and uncles and everyone. We all look the same and we all identify with one another, which I think is a really special thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being like myself, having a white mother and maybe like a white stepfather, white siblings, or anything like, you know, white cousins, aunties, because you would always feel othered, especially with the history of racism. You know, even still to this day, I know a lot of people that, you know, they don't use racist terminology, or, you know, but you can just sense that there's that, oh, you know, a lot of people I speak to, they talk to me and they say, oh yeah, I like rice and peas, you know, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good in Jamaica, innit? I'm like, yeah. It's how they identify, because it's just otherism.
Funny enough, you said, mentioned something before. I remember I had Jay Blades on, and he was talking to me, and he's from Bermuda. He was talking to me that some black people have said to him, you're not black or something. No, you can clearly see he's black.
Yeah.
But kind of back to what you were saying about some people might use the term, use mixed race or something in London or certain places.
Yeah.
Now, I remember someone dropped that one on me, and he regretted it, because when I threw my lyrics back, I said, what's your surname? And when you pull out names like English surnames, and I got my African name, forget all this. I have lineage. Where's your lineage? So for me, like, I take care of that easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
But it's happened. It happens. Do you know what I'm saying? So, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. My person could be 100% African. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that he's pure proud. Just because you're 100%, you could get someone who's light skinned and is solidly proud to be black.
Can I say something?
It doesn't really work like that. We just got a question from one of the audience.
Yes, can I, sorry to interject.
Yep.
But this is so important to me.
Yep.
Because the diversity of shades
Yeah.
within our populace, right,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we're not all black. Because my position on this is that black for me is not simply about skin color. It's not skin deep. Black is really an ideological posture, right? So I see black as ideology, your ideology, and not necessarily just merely the color of your skin.
Yeah. Well, in this city, a lot of people gravitate
There are a lot of
towards.
people with black skin, but they don't identify as black. They're ideologically something else.
But this is where anyway we deal with the lineage. We get some black people in Liverpool. You want to be black Liverpool. That's not for me. I'm an African.
Yeah.
I'm born here, but I'm an African. I have Caribbean roots as well, but I'm an African. And no matter what, you're not going to get me to like being an Englishman. I'm not an Englishman. And I've had these discussions with other black people where they class themselves as an Englishman.
Yeah.
I ain't. I don't want to be one. I have culture.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of culture in England,
Yeah.
let's be honest. You go other places around the world, like I've travelled, and I go and explore culture. You know, explore people who are still living like they did from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
See, I had that perspective initially, but then I did have to sit back and say, I'm English. I was born in England. My grandmother's English. Both my grandparents are English. And actually sit with that and say, I have African ancestry, but I'm English and I'm okay with that. And guess what? There's black people in England because we are the original people.
Well,
Do you know
Cheddar
what I
Man
mean?
was here than everyone.
Yeah,
that's
so
it.
I could say I'm African and I can identify with my African heritage and my African roots, but actually I'm comfortable where
Yeah.
I am. Like when I was speaking to Albert, I was saying to him I'm English and he was like, you're confused. And I was like, no, I was born here and you're born here. If he wished to identify as English, even though his parents are Ghanaian, he can because it's the land that we're born in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think like disassociating ourselves from where we're from and always identifying as African. Yes, of course, Africa is the root, but we're black and wherever we're from, or we're brown, or however you want to identify. For me, I see black as a culture.
Yeah.
Black culture.
Yep.
But, you know, just because of our skin colour doesn't mean we have to disassociate ourselves from the place that we're from. It's just we are African in our spirit. And that's the main
Totally.
thing.
Well, that's the greatest way out to put it. The spirit. It's not so much the complexion.
Yeah.
It's the spirit.
Yeah.
Most definitely, I'm definitely with that. Now, when you say what it is basically because it's also how you raise as well, isn't it? You know, like I don't really have it. There was no one really like white in the family who I was really close to, or you know, okay, but not there's no one else.
Yeah.
No one else. And I always felt comfortable with my own. I can just speak how I speak. I haven't got to explain and this and that. Also, friends. I don't have any white friends. Nothing to do with that. Not saying I don't want any, but it's just I'm comfortable with my own culture.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am. I listen to black musicians.
Yeah.
So, you know, everything what I do is surrounded around original peoples. You know. That's just because I'm about the knowledge. I'm about the beginning and religion. You know, it does some people some good, but then at the same time, it does us some major damage at the same time. So I don't want to be. I'm spiritual. I just stay spiritual and in tune with nature, like we were speaking with Raz. Our antennas of the universe. We are everywhere. Our spirit is everywhere. Souls everywhere. You know, soul travelers. You know, so, but back to what we were saying about English here, where I was referring to is, I'm going to use Professor James Small's philosophy. He's born in America, and his philosophy was, Africa is my race, America is my geographical place. I love that philosophy, because I thought, I couldn't use them words myself. I wish I could have used that word, but then when I've learned that off him, to put it like that, because I thought that was perfect that we put it, you know. And it's like when Malcolm X, if it was Malcolm X he was talking about, he was saying, are you an American or something? He said, if a cat has kittens in the oven, you don't call the babies biscuits. So there's a lot of different, I mean, as black people, we're wordsmiths. We pour words out the bag everywhere, you know. We pour words out the universe and everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the gift in us, you know. So I'm made up. I've gravitated toward the Professor James Small, the Dr. Ben, Dr. Johnny Clark, Chancellor Williams. Oh, you can go on forever with these names and that, you know. But yeah. So anyway, back to what we were saying. So London not versus Liverpool, but your experience up in London, coming back to Liverpool, you're bringing skills back. And I find this with a lot of people when you go to London or Manchester or Birmingham or whatever, they come back to Liverpool. You're actually bringing skills into the community.
Yeah, do you know what I think a big part of it is as well? It's the mindset. So in Liverpool, definitely you know, it's almost like a bubble. A lot of people, for a long time, I think it's become a more cosmopolitan now because of the influx of students from all over that are, you know, choosing to stay in the city. And, you know, it's always been a multicultural place, but in terms of like Liverpool culture, it's always been quite similar. So like people dress the same, the lingo's the same. There's this kind of like reverse positive language, so people will say, oh, F off. There's a lot of swearing, there's a lot of like ripping each other as a form of like endearment. And, you know, people can say the most dreadful things to one another and you don't even realise, like, you know, there's been times where I've said something to somebody. I think Scotland's the same as well, like where you'll say something, you'll say like a really bad word to somebody as a term of endearment and they don't get it, and I might stick with them and say, oh, why'd you think that about me? So I think it can be quite a like oppressive place, even just, you know, within the community. So going to London, it gave me more of an open-minded perspective because you're exposed to so many different cultures. It's not such like a glass bubble, whereas on one side it's really good that Liverpool has this sense of community, but then on the other side it's almost like a judgment, so everyone's watching each other and you don't really feel like you can express yourself. Now, I know a lot of people, particularly creative people in Liverpool, who've travelled, gone to London and lived there, and they feel like they can breathe and they can just be. A lot of the times they talk about the frequencies as well in Liverpool. I think because of the transatlantic slave trade, there's a lot of heavy energy.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, and I think even energetically, apparently there's only a few frequencies available for radio. That's why we've struggled with radio for a long time. So if you want to set up a radio station, like I know we set up Beat FM in 2013, I think, and we had a proper transmitter with FM signal, and I think that cost about 20 grand or something like that, 25 grand to set it up for like 6 weeks. So frequency problems.
Yeah. See, we're going deep now.
Yeah.
You know, because energy is everywhere, isn't it? Whether you can see it or not, it's there.
Yeah.
You walk in the room, you feel the atmosphere, the energy, you know, so that's it. I'm liking this one.
Yeah, so I feel like we need to do more things to kind of switch it up and create new frequencies and
positivity, upliftment, tranquility. That's what we definitely need.
Even like looking at the World Reimagined, it's great, but it's a project that's been done before with statues, and there's a lot of things that kind of repeat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a cycle, so we really do need to break those cycles. And I think coming together in a spiritual way as a community is really important.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
has to be spiritual though.
Yeah, things like meditation and sharing that knowledge about meditation. Like recently I've been learning more about the endocrine system and how the endocrine system links with the chakras. So the different organs link with the different areas in the body. So for example, the adrenal glands, they link with the solar plexus, and that's the yellow area, so where the bile is in the body. The adrenal glands control your fight or flight, so it's your ability to do things, your willpower, whether you know, step forward or you retreat, that type of thing, and to really strengthen the adrenal glands is really important for the kidneys. And, you know, even if you link it into, for example, traditional Chinese medicine, where they talk about the kidney jing and the energy, they talk about the kidneys being your life force, which is solar plexus, the sun. So we're all interlinks.
Okay.
So learning more about those types of things and sharing it as a community, you know, looking into the benefits of diet and alkaline food. Like when I started exploring with alkaline foods, I did it based on the premise of understanding that we are energetic beings, and a lot of the food that we eat creates acidity within the body, so we need to neutralize that and really like go the
what do you like with your health? Are you vegan, Janiece?
No, so I've been vegan, I've done alkaline diets, and then I like food, so, and I'm not very
don't want to limit yourself.
Well, kind of, but you know, if you're in a social setting and someone's serving food, I'm gonna eat the food because it's I see it as polite, and also you have to adapt to your surroundings. So you might not always have access to a certain type of diet. True. Or like none of my family have been on the same wave as me. So if I want to go and eat food with my family, I'm eating what's there. Sometimes it's to my own detriment because I understand that diet is really key and like your energy and things like that. But being adaptable. You know, I think for me, when I realised that it's important to be adaptable is when I was on a full alkaline diet and then I had a piece of pizza and I was sick for like 2 weeks, and I was very, very
fast
sick.
Food.
Yeah, and I think it was just because my body had, you know, got rid of all the the cheese and the acidic, you know, red.
yeah.
And then as soon as I put that back into my body, it just made me really poorly. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to stick to one specific diet. I'm going to eat a little bit of everything. And also, if you are on an alkaline or a vegan or a raw food diet, it's important that you've got a range of foods. Otherwise, you're lacking in certain nutrients what you can get from meat, because the animals eat specific plants, or they eat grass and they get the nutrients from that. So my mum was saying to me for a long time, you need a steak, and I was like, Mum, I'm not eating meat, leave me alone. I didn't eat red meat for a very long time, and then one day I had a piece of steak, and it was literally just like, that was what my body needed. Do you know what I mean? But I do understand that it's better to get it from the plant, because
Plant-based?
yeah, because literally you are what you eat, and although you can get nutrients from meat, you're eating a dead animal, so it's not it's not
right.
it's not replenishing. It's replenishing, but it's not rejuvenating, and the objective is to rejuvenate. So you need live enzymes, which is in the live food. If you eat dead foods, then
Yeah, but that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
It totally makes sense. You know, anyway, Janiece, any chance we could get a little song off you, though? If you're in the mood, you know, I know, kind of like put you on the spot and that, but I would like to hear a little. If you maybe you're tired, or you know.
No, it's okay.
Oh, you're always ready. You're always ready when you're ready.
Okay, I have a song. I've got loads of music there, James, but I need to get in the studio and just get to work. But I have a song called Stone Walls I really like. I might have to dust off the pipes because it's a bit of a...
That's all right, you know. Just project the voice into the mic and we'll hear it.
Okay.
1, 2.
I'm trying to remember it. Going in a memory bank.
Need a beat?
No, go on, I'm alright. This is how they made me, God. I don't know how to change me, God. I'm caught between what I know is best for all of us and what I love. Don't wanna fall down to my knees. Is this the only way out? See, I don't wanna be deceived and end up here in chains. But if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Catch me, don't you let me fall. Don't leave me banging on stone walls, 'cause I was born with a lover's heart. Let me love, don't make me start again. Won't fall in line, won't do the time, 'cause being human's not a crime. No, I try, dear Lord, don't make me cry. Yeah,
Excellent.
I fumbled the lyrics there though.
Well done.
Thank you. I fumbled the lyrics.
You still got it.
That song for a while.
See?
Yeah, so as I say, I need to get in the studio and just get me music.
Well, maybe that's a sign, you know, to bring it in to do things. Sometimes you need to, anyone, if you don't keep up what you're doing, you know, but at the end of the day, your voice is still there, you know.
Yeah.
So, what song was, so this song now, was how long ago did you sing this one, was it?
You know what, it was a song that I wrote in 2013, I think, 13
wow,
14.
quite a bit back on it, yeah.
So it's just a song that I love. I've got all the production there, so I'm really looking forward to putting that one out. I've got an EP that's been in the pipeline for a while called Real Love, but again, for me, lyrics are really important, and you know, making sure that the songs that I'm putting out are, you know, like are representing me, because you go through your periods of, you know, changing through your 20s, and now I'm in my 30s, so the things that I want to talk about, it's changed, you know what I mean, the things that you want to say and the things that you want to put out,
well, I found like, well, you know me, I still rap a lot and all that one, but I found when I was younger, it was the mindset in the 20s, but then you got the 30s. The 30s, you should be on point.
Yeah.
You can't be talking some silliness when you're 50. Come on,
that's it,
you know,
that's it.
I just seen from that time, you know, you got to be a bit more sensible. You know, these people listen to you, young people, different peoples, and but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's true. And understanding music and how it affects the psyche.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you really want to put out good quality, solid music, it takes time. You want to make sure the production's on point. You want to make sure that everything's on point before it goes out. Because I have thrown out some music in the past, and some of it's been, for me, when I listen back, I go, what's that? Do you know what I mean?
But you know what, though? I mean, it's at least you can acknowledge that.
Yeah, and it's part of a process, isn't it?
It's a process.
Yeah.
You get better and better.
Yeah.
Even people like rap music's a funny one. Okay, listen to KRS-One, who you done a song with. And how did we forget to speak about that last time? So anyway, we're going to come to this KRS-One now. Janiece done a song with KRS-One.
Yeah.
Powerful song.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest rappers. He goes back to, you know, too long. You know what I'm saying? I remember the tune where he buried MC Shan. That was The Bridge Is Over. And also South Bronx. South Bronx come first. Then The Bridge Is Over. I know Shan dropped something like Kill That Noise. It wasn't strong enough though. You know, KRS-One, he done him in, you know what I mean? But and that's how he made it. And KRS-One's story is amazing. He said he had to win that battle because he was homeless. And when I'm listening to him speak like that, that's like, whoa, you've got to win. Oh, you can't lose.
Yeah.
You know, so that was serious when I was happy to see KRS-One in there. He was performing in Liverpool, the Old Cream. I don't even know what's called now.
Yeah. I know where you mean.
Yeah. I seen him there. It was a good performance in that. But how did that song come about with KRS-One? You know, you can't overlook this one.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was actually Kof. So he was working with Kof at Go Play Studios, and he was recording his album with Kof. And he asked Kof, you know, who should I work with? And Kof recommended me.
Excellent.
So I went down to the studio in elevator to meet him. And he was just a great guy. He was just cool.
Massive, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, he's so tall.
Yeah.
He's so cool. And he also recorded a track with KOD, who's another local Liverpool rapper.
Oh, okay.
Called F This.
Good.
Yeah, and
excellent.
So I was there while they recorded their tune, and then he was saying to me, you know, he's like, so I want a concept, you know, I want it to be about winning. And, you know, pushing and striving. I was like, so I wrote me lyrics, and he was like, are you sure you can do this? I was like, yeah, of course. I got in the studio, got in the booth, recorded my parts. And he was like, okay.
And it's on his album, isn't it?
Yeah, The World Is Mind. The album is
The World Is Mind.
Yeah. So and then when he got in and he did his lyrics, I was just like,
that's amazing. That before he ever retired or whatever, I mean, the fact you've done a great song with a legend.
Yeah.
A legend before the legends.
Yeah, just. And he, you know, so now he's into his academia. He's doing a lot of lectures, travelling around, writing books, and he travels. He doesn't travel by air. He only travels by land and sea.
I read something like that when he said that. Yeah. Interesting. He doesn't like being in the air.
He wants to stay rooted and grounded.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I'd sound like a hypocrite if I said that, being on too many planes. You know what I mean?
No, but it is a good notion. Like,
it is.
To travel land and sea, I think is very dope.
Definitely. But you know what, Janiece? Really happy we got you back in today.
Yeah, me too.
You know, been waiting to get you back in for a while, and probably since the last time you come on, end of 2020 to where we are now. It's been so much you've been involved in, you know, so, and the world reimagined, you know.
And I'm looking forward to getting involved in the Return Project as well.
Definitely the Return Project. I remember you even mentioned that a long time ago when we first put the Return Project together. So Janiece is going to be involved in the Return Project, which, you know, it's about getting positive people and like-minded people involved. That is the whole point, and we're confident it's going to work from there. But Janiece, anyway, I want to thank you very much, and also thank you very much for introducing me to Raz as well. You know, definitely a great conversation. So 2 in 1, definitely good. So I want to thank you. All right, and thank Raz as well. This is James DeBow on Discovering Season 5, dedicated still to original peoples on Liverpool Online, and we are here. Bless.